Mistake number 2 that I see happens all the time. You're in our FBA High Rollers group. You probably see this question 6 times a day. It's a short-term mentality. I'd like to say that, the gold rush is over, right? People, well, there have been opportunities. Let's go back. There's been opportunities where people have capitalized on these opportunities and made themselves rich, made their descendants rich. California gold rush from the 1800s, for example. But I've heard multiple people in our group say that the Amazon gold rush is over, right? It's way too competitive. The Chinese are moving in and taking over. The market is saturated, whatever it is. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is true?
I completely disagree with that. I think it's better than ever, actually, right now. Now, better doesn't mean easier. Those are two different things.
Good point.
A few years ago, it was easier. There's a lot of people. I mean, I know people in this business that don't even know how to create a shipping label that are multimillionaires. I mean, they were right place, right time, and it was a lot easier. The early days of some of the early courses that were out there and stuff. But I think it's actually better now. Amazon is growing rapidly, even in the U.S. But forget even the U.S. Look at all the international markets, Germany and Japan. What's happening there? I think the opportunity to change your life is still completely here on Amazon, and there's been nothing else like it in the history of mankind, really, that's been to rapidly grow that freaks bankers out. I mean, you can get from $0 to $1 million in this business faster than any kind of brick and mortar business could ever hope to get, with a lot less overhead and a lot less effort. But what you got to do is you got to treat this as a real business. This is not a get rich quick. Do people hit the lottery? Yeah, some people hit the lottery, and you'll see some of these sales numbers in different courses where they'll say, look, my student did this much. But what you don't know, again, is what they took home, and it's that's not the norm. But the people that are making this a real business, and like I said earlier, developing a brand that you can actually sell, are the people that are cleaning up, and those opportunities are great. I mean, based on Amazon's data, I think in 2016, so it's a little over year-old data or so, over 80,000 sellers like us, like me and you, Manny, did over $100,000 on Amazon. That's incredible. I mean, where else in the world can you do that? I mean, there's not that many on eBay. So with the right skill set, which can be learned, I mean, the beauty about this business, you don't have to have you don't have to know all this e-commerce thing and everything coming into it. You can learn the proper skill set. Now, there's people that teach checkbox things, do this, do this, do this. Here's the 10 steps, to how to find a product on Amazon. And that's what everybody's doing. But if you have the basics, the real skill set, which can be learned, fairly quickly, you can kill it with this. And there's something I always I see people overcomplicating this. They start chasing shiny objects and, oh, should I do this tactic or should I do this tactic? And selling on Amazon, don't overcomplicate it. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of really cool ninja things you can do. And sometimes, in Illuminati Mastermind, we teach some of those to the high-level guys. But once you're at that level, then you can worry about those. But when you're just beginning, or you're doing 10K a month, 15K a month, or something, focus on the 4 basic things that really matter, and become a master at picking products, not following a formula that everyone else says it has to be this weight, this size, this price, because that's what everybody else is doing. Be a master and have the skills and know how to pick a product. Then know how to create a really good listing. And how to do proper keyword research. That's the second key element to being successful in this business. The third is knowing how to launch a product. I mean, you really need to know the first month is critical when you launch a new product, but you need to know can you get people to realize you even have this product? How do you get traffic? How do you get reviews? How do you use the ad system? That's the third main thing. And the fourth is just rinse and repeat, basically. If you just focus on those 4 key competencies, you can do very, very well. And don't get sidetracked with all this other stuff. You can do very, very, very well in this business.
Yeah. And I think another big key component of this is mentorship and finding the right person to follow, because you and I have seen this. There's some really old information floating around, still being taught, in fact, in courses and in different places where if you follow that, it's just going to be difficult. You're going to be competing with a billion people. You're going to be potentially just leaving a lot of money on the table, maybe even failing. I see it all the time. And I'm like, don't do that. Do this instead. And you can't teach everybody, obviously, but I agree. Focus, find somebody that really knows what they're doing. You're crushing it. Somebody should listen to what you're saying versus somebody who, I guess, only sells how to sell or whatever it might be, right?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people that there's a lot of people that get in this business, and, they say in like the gold rush that there's the people that came for the gold rush, but the people that really got rich were the ones selling the axes and the tools. And so there's a lot of people that get into this business and they either don't make it very well, or maybe they do. There's some that do, but then they start doing courses or starting Facebook groups or whatever. And some of these guys aren't really selling much. There's a lot of free stuff out there that's just parroting what someone posted on a Facebook group. And a lot of times there's a lot of misinformation. I don't know how many times I see really, really bad advice in some of the free Facebook groups that becomes like standard knowledge. It's just absolutely wrong. So yeah, you got to be careful. But that's why I'm saying if you have the skills, don't follow a formula. If you have the skills and how to think for yourself and how to approach products, how to analyze everything, you can blow everybody out of the water. And that's the key to success in this, is have that proper foundation. And unfortunately, a lot of the courses just don't teach that, because everybody wants to get rich quick. And what's the fastest way that I can quit my job next week?
Yeah.
And it's just not reality. I mean, something like 90% of the people that take these courses either never launch a product or never make any money. It's because they don't have the fundamental skills. And so that's what you need. And there's ways to get that. And that can really help you be successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
For more information, insider tools, and to get the resources mentioned in this episode, visit ampmpodcast.com.